I hijacked my brother's wedding speech to save the bride. I, 25F, have been best friends with Izzy, 25F, since secondary school. We used to hang out constantly and were pretty inseparable for years. When we were about 16, she started developing a crush on my older brother, 27M. At the time it was kind of funny but also sweet, and a couple years later they actually started dating properly and have been together ever since. When they got engaged, she asked me to be maid of honor. Originally my brother actually wanted one of his friends to be best man, but my parents pushed for my younger brother, 19M, instead so he wouldn't feel left out, and eventually he agreed. One thing to know about my younger brother is he genuinely thinks he's hilarious. He's always had that edgy 14-year-old humor and insists if people don't laugh they're just too soft. He talks all the time about how he could probably do stand-up one day. Before the speeches, my older brother had actually told him to keep it short and normal. His speech started normal enough, a few jokes about my older brother growing up and some harmless embarrassing stories. People laughed. Then he started talking about Izzy. First he exaggerated how she used to have a crush on my brother and said she was basically obsessed with him when we were teenagers. He joked my brother used to call her his little stalker, and even said she probably only became friends with me to get closer to him. Some people laughed, but you could tell she was getting uncomfortable. Then he kept going with more stories about their early dating years. I'm not going to repeat them here because honestly they were embarrassing and definitely not appropriate for a wedding speech. Most people had gone silent and it was very awkward, but my family were still laughing though. My older brother looked uncomfortable by the end, but at the start he was laughing along too, which honestly made it worse. Izzy looked absolutely horrified, like she wanted to disappear. At that point I'd had enough, so I stood up, interrupted him, and said if we're telling humiliating stories about people maybe we should include some about you as well. I took the mic and basically did my speech right then instead of waiting. Most of it was about how great Izzy is and how long I've known her, but yes, I did include a few stories about my younger brother too. Nothing made up, just things he definitely hoped would never be repeated in front of our parents, his girlfriend, and about 100 wedding guests. People were laughing again, but this time my parents and the rest of my family looked horrified and my younger brother stormed out. Now my parents are furious, saying I ruined the speeches and made the reception awkward. Apparently embarrassing Izzy was just part of the joke, but embarrassing him crossed a line. Izzy did thank me later and said she was relieved someone stopped it, but also wished it hadn't turned into such a big scene. So now I'm getting blamed for ruining part of my brother's wedding. AITA?